Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to Hard Arts. Are you curious about a survey? Which topic won? I'm telling you that we are going to Siena, so the winner is the standard of the Palio horse race. Hi everybody, it's a very particular episode to me because I'm a Sienese and talking about the Palio is always something very emotional and difficult sometimes. This is the first episode that I haven't written anything, so I have no sketch with me. I'm going on my way for free, we have to say. But I hope it would be intriguing for you knowing something about the Palio. I mean the standard, the banner that has been donated. It is donated every year, twice a year, in July and in August, to every Contrade that would win the Palio. The horse race itself is the same name, Palio, for both the things because it comes from pallium, is Latin, and it means the standard, the piece of fabric that was donated to the Contrada, to the district that won the race. And it was a very precious piece of fabric embroidered in silver or gold with some furs over. In velvet, it was very expensive, and the first of them were sold by the districts to have money to spend for restorations of the oratories, for the territory, or maybe sometimes they transformed this piece of fabric in the vest for the Saint Mass, for the liturgies, for the Catholic liturgies. So we don't have the first of them. The first we have is inside the Museum of the Eagle and is dated to the 2nd of July of 1719. This is the most ancient that we have. But if you see it, it's a very simple iconography because the most important thing that has to be in every banner is the Virgin Mary, and from the beginning they represented two different kinds of Virgin Marys. The first in July is the Virgin Mary of Provenzano, so it's a bust of the Virgin Mary that is still there inside the church, so it's visible and it's very simple to be reproduced. The other one, the Assumption of the Virgin Mary, usually is the Virgin Mary over the clouds, so ascending to heaven. And the first of them, we more or less the same century, were all painted the same way. So there's two different Virgin Marys, and then below the coat of arms of the superintendent that just organized the festival and the horse race itself. So they were very simple. They changed a little bit at the beginning of the 1900s when Siena started to be open to the world. The railway arrived in town. A lot of tourists, workers from sometimes abroad, and so the representation of the Palio, I mean the festival, the horse race, the tradition was developed and changed. The standard were assigned to scholars or students of the local Academy of Art. Between these artists, the most important ones were probably Bruno Marzi and Vittorio Giunti, who painted 24 banners, each one a lot in a very long career. We're talking about 25 30 years of career painting palios, and also we call them Palio Panforte because the same artist used to paint, used to design the covering, the packages of the Sienese cakes, so the Panforti, the Ricciarelli, and so we call them, these banners, Palio Panforte. They are more or less the same. Then after the period of fascism, there were a lot of she-wolves, a lot of symbols of italic tradition and pride, we have to say. What changes? Who changed the iconography of the banner? He was the Barzanti, he was the mayor of the city in the beginning of the 70s, in the last century, who decided to assign every palio to an artist, a local one in July and an international one, an Italian one, or maybe from abroad in August. From this moment on, we have very particular palios, there are really some piece of art. So we have always to remember that we have 17 contemporary art museums in town. So Siena is not a medieval town only. It's just very, very well linked with the contemporary art, because we have palios from Botero, from Miturai, from Manara, the last one won by the Forest. I'm very envious of it because it's fantastic. Or Folon, for example. And it's not easy for the painters, for the artists to realize the banner, because it's a very peculiar iconography. They have to follow some precise rules. So it's rectangular, high and thin. First of all, you have to paint in silk, but someone chose to embroider it, like Rita Petti, for this fantastic palio dedicated to Pius II, to the Pope Pius II, and now is in the museum of the Caterpillar, and I'm very envious of it too, because it's amazing. It's all embroidered, not painted. So you have to realize this rectangular silk banner, and you have to put inside the Virgin Mary, absolutely. It's mandatory. You have to add the symbol of Siena, the emblem of Siena, the Balzana, black and white, the symbol of the captain of the people, a rampant lion in red, the name Libertas in blue, so the three emblems of Siena, plus the emblem of the mayor. So every mayor in Italy, in Siena now, has to have a coat of arms. It's from himself. And then they have to be some symbol of Siena, sometimes the horses, sometimes the skyline of the city, and also the colors or the emblems, so the animals of every Contrade that would join the horse race itself. So they're just a kind of colorful banner, usually very particular. Some painter decided to paint both the sides, so we have the back and the front in some palios. For example, this one by Carli has been realized over Duccio di Buoninsegna, the Sienese painter, because the 2003 was the year of the major exhibition concerning Duccio in Siena, and so you see it seems the stained glass window realized by this medieval painter, but instead of the halo we have the emblems of the Barbary, we say, so the little wooden balls with the colors of the Contrade. It's amazing. So I think that this kind of restrictions, this kind of guidelines gave the artist the possibility to express all their creativity, and we have a lot of stunning piece of art. There are worthwhile themselves in these museums. You can go to know the story of the Palio, the horse race, or the Palio, the banner, but also to admire these fantastic masterpieces. And it's very sad when looking at the website ilpalio.org that it's a treasure of information and news about the world of the Palio. We see the list of the artists that have been chosen to realize the banners, and we have the two chosen for the 2020, and we still don't know if they could realize, or they would realize the banner or not. Probably not. So it's a very sad page to be read, to be seen on the screen. See you in 15 days, because since this moment on, Italy is returning to a kind of normal life, a very careful but normal life. So with our masks on, we would go from the next Monday to shops, groceries, or maybe aesthetics, some factories, more or less all will be reopened, every restaurants and bars if they want. And so we'll see you in 15 days. Arts stays on the web, but in YouTube, but just every 15 days. And we're going to talk about the old facade of Santa Maria del Fiore in Florence. See you and have a nice weekend.